My sister used me as a negative example for her children, forcing me to show up every Sunday to explain why they shouldn't live like me. When she eventually lost custody, I adopted her kids and made no effort to shield her from seeing them. Call me Mom. It all started with a text from her. Sunday dinner, 5 p.m., don't be late. No please, no question, just a command, as always. I should have known something was off. She never invited me over unless she needed something. For context, she was the typical golden child, married right after college, 2 kids, a house straight out of a lifestyle magazine. I, on the other hand, was the family disappointment who chose her own path and didn't follow the life plan our parents laid out. That first Sunday, I showed up with a bottle of wine and some homemade cookies for the kids. She looked at them, rolled her eyes, and threw them in the trash. "We don't eat processed sugar," she said, despite the fact I used organic honey. But then came the real reason she'd invited me. She gathered everyone in the living room, sat her kids down on a pristine white couch, who even has white furniture with children, and said, "Kids, your aunt is going to tell you about her life choices and why they're wrong. Pay attention. This is what happens when you don't listen to your parents." I stood there stunned. But before I could protest, she pulled me aside and whispered, "You owe me. Unless you want Mom and Dad to hear that you never paid me back." She was referring to a $2,000 loan from 5 years ago, which I had actually repaid, with interest. But she lost the receipts, and of course, our parents would believe her. So began the humiliating Sunday lessons. Every week I had to explain why being unmarried at 34 was a failure, why choosing my own dreams over a safe career was a cautionary tale. But here's where it turned. Her kids, they didn't buy it. When she wasn't watching, they'd ask questions about my life. They were curious. They liked me. I caught them drawing pictures of things I'd told them about. One night the boy whispered, "I wish I could be brave like you." Then things began to fall apart. Her husband started drinking. The mask slipped. She became harsher, meaner. The kids grew quieter, sadder. One night at 2 a.m., I got a call from a hidden toy phone. The girl was crying. "Auntie, Daddy's throwing things again. Mommy says it's because we're not good enough, like you." I called child services and the police. The investigation revealed long-term emotional abuse. She had spent years using me to scare her kids while controlling them with impossible expectations. Her husband's drinking had turned violent. The children were both diagnosed with severe anxiety. They needed emergency placement, so I stepped up. I had a stable job and a spare room. Ironically, the bad life I'd lived gave me exactly what they needed. The judge gave me temporary custody, which became permanent after both parents refused counseling. Then came what some might call revenge. But to me, it was justice. Thanaita. Day the adoption was finalized, the girl texted me. "She's outside." I looked out the window. There she was, standing on the sidewalk, watching. I gathered the kids, who had been asking to call me Mom for weeks, their choice, not mine, and hugged them right in front of that window. They both shouted, "Mom!" loud enough to be heard outside. The boy even pressed his hand to the glass, showing me his first bad grade, a B- in math. And I cheered, because he'd worked hard and tried. She stood there for an hour, watching the sister she tried to humiliate become the mother she failed to be. Watching her kids thrive, without fear, without perfection, in a home built on kindness and freedom.